Maybe I'll, oh no, it's a mess. Oh no, what should I do?
You're not gonna share this video?
Today we're gonna make okonomiyaki, which is like a savory Japanese pancake. This is one of my husband's favorite dishes that I make. It's a very like traditional, authentic Japanese dish. And I mean, let's be honest, it's probably one of my favorites too. And it's really, really easy to make. So I've already prepped a lot of the ingredients because there's quite a bit of chopping and stuff like that you have to do up front. But essentially what you want to prepare is you want to chop cabbage very finely. So the finer that you chop this, the easier it's going to be for you to mix it into your batter, which is going to kind of form the basis of your savory pancake. And I was always taught by my mom to put as much cabbage in as possible, and it makes the okonomiyaki like really light and fluffy and delicious. And plus you get lots of cabbage in it, so it's healthy and it's good for you. Plus I've already chopped up a bunch of spring onion, which I'm going to use as garnish, but also we're actually going to try something as well. The last time that we were in Kyoto, we actually had this, it wasn't okonomiyaki, but it was like similar, like the base was similar. And they just put a heap of spring onion into it, and we thought for sure this is going to be a cooking tragedy, but it actually ended up being like one of the best things I've ever had. So I kind of want to try making okonomiyaki not with the traditional cabbage, but with a bunch of spring onion and see how that turns out as well. So we'll do one of each. I've also got eggs, which you're going to need for the pancakes. And then I've also got garlic because I love garlic. I've got this, which is like a pre-made, it's already like a seasoned flour, which you use for okonomiyaki, and it's very similar to what you would also use for takoyaki, which is those like little octopus balls. I think there's a way that you can actually like make your own with flour, but I do not know how to do that. So this is always my go-to, and this is the okonomiyaki flour that I grew up with as well. So I like this brand just because this is the flavor that I'm used to and that I love. And then I also realized today that we don't have any okonomiyaki sauce, which when you make the pancake, you actually spread this like delicious brown sauce over the top of it. And we didn't have any, so I'm actually gonna make that from scratch. So we're also gonna make that once we actually have made this. So let's just get started. And then the other thing that I prepared off to the side as well is is a bunch of pork. We're gonna need about 3/4 of a cup of water. So this is just to make one. And we're gonna make them, normally I like batch them up, but because we're gonna make a spring onion version, I'm gonna make them separate. And then you're gonna put one egg in here. You just want to mix this together until it's even in consistency, and it doesn't have any like huge lumps of the flour. And then when my mom made it, she would always put these like little tempura, like little stuff in there, but we don't have that unfortunately today. So we're not gonna add that in. We're just gonna go straight to the cabbage. Okay, so see, okay, so you can see how like soupy this is. Like this is very wet still, and that's fine, that's what you want. I've got this huge bowl of cabbage, and I'm just gonna grab handfuls and start putting them in. Like maybe two handfuls. And then I'm gonna use this to mix it around because this will make it easier. All right, so I'm just putting a little bit of oil in the pan. And I think it's heating up quite nicely.
What do you love about Japanese cooking?
I think that, you know, I obviously grew up with Japanese cooking, so it's close to my heart. It's my comfort food. Okay, so I think that that's pretty much ready to go. And what I have here is some thinly sliced pork that we cut up earlier. And when I say we, I mean my husband. So I'm gonna start with this because you want this to cook through. So what you do is you're just gonna lay it down. All right, cool. So that's when you see the edges start to turn like that gray color, you can start pouring this on, and the rest of it will cook as the okonomiyaki cooks. The reason that I do that is I don't want it to overcook or get burned and have to sit too long on one side. All right, cool. And then what you would do is you're just going to smush this out so that it's covering all the pork, because what you want is you want this to cook and adhere to the pork, and then when you flip it over, it's all one giant pancake. All right. So you also want a big spatula because you've got this big okonomiyaki to flip, and you want to try to flip it without breaking it. You'll know when it's ready to flip because, as you can see, there's some like bubbles that are forming as it cooks through. And essentially this is gonna harden a little bit, and then you'll see that there's kind of more of that at the top, and then once you see that, you're gonna wanna flip it. So this is not yet ready to flip. In order to make okonomiyaki sauce from scratch, what you want is you want 4 tablespoons of ketchup, or I'm sorry, in Australia they call it tomato sauce. You're gonna want 3.5 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. How do you say it?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. Huh?
I can't say it anymore.
So mixing the two together. Worcestershire sauce. Does that sound right?
Sure.
Okay. And then you're also gonna want 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. And then you're gonna want a little bit of sugar. So this is about 2 teaspoons, but I think you should just taste and try. So you don't want more than you need. I think it's because of the Worcestershire sauce, but it's got a kick in the back of the throat. That's not there with the store-bought version, but it's good. It has the right flavor. And it gets more mild the more sugar you add into it. All right, so yeah, about 2 teaspoons is right. Cool. So that's our homemade okonomiyaki sauce. You know what I always wonder is when you watch cooking shows and the chefs are making those amazing looking dishes and meals, I always wonder if they actually like sit down and eat the food that they're making. Like I always wonder, or it's just like for the TV show.
Do you eat the food that you make?
I eat all the food that I make.
Nothing goes to waste.
Nothing goes to waste. But don't you ever wonder that? Like, you know, those like Food Network shows, like they're always making these like amazingly delicious looking like dishes, I always wonder if they actually then sit down and eat it. Like who eats that food afterwards? But it's only enough for like one person sometimes. Who, like, is it like Hunger Games? Like, do they compete? We're ready to flip. Ooh, okay. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I flipped it. Oh yes. How good is that looking?
How proud of you, your flip?
I'm extremely proud. I thought I was gonna lose it. I thought I was gonna lose that top corner. You can see that it's a little bit cracked here, but we saved it.
How successful are you generally with
I would say 50-50. The good thing though about okonomiyaki is when you plate it up, you cover it with sauce, you know, the okonomiyaki sauce that we just made. You cover it with katsuobushi, which is like dried bonito flakes. And then you cover it with dried seaweed and then some mayonnaise. So you can like boyakasu, like you can like, what that means is you can fool people when you plate it up. And it's still gonna taste delicious, so it doesn't matter. So most of the cooking's already happened while it was on this side, so it doesn't take as long once you flipped it over. But you want the same kind of caramelly color on the other side. So we'll keep checking it to see when it's done. It's looking good. So as I said before, even though it looked like we added a lot of cabbage, it cooked perfectly, and you're gonna end up with this really fluffy, light, delicious okonomiyaki. I don't want to say okonomiyaki pancake because it's not an okonomiyaki pancake, but it's the savory pancake. See what's happening underneath. It's not yet. It's almost done. Ready to go. Oof, this is gonna be a hefty mama. All right. Oh, it's the entire size of my plate. This is umami.
Get him on, man.
Umami.
Can you explain umami?
Umami is just amazing savory flavor. Okay. And then this is aonori. This is like a, oh, I love how this smells. And this is my homemade traditional okonomiyaki. You just finish it off with a bit of mayonnaise, some aonori, some katsuobushi, and some okonomiyaki sauce, and there you have it, a delicious meal. So this is our thing that we're trying out today. So we're gonna try to make spring onion pancakes with the same batter as the okonomiyaki. So I'm just gonna oil up my pan. See what happens if I put one in. Okay, kind of hot. All right, so I'm gonna dump this whole thing in. Oh yeah. A bit of salt. Some ajinomoto. Delicious fried garlic. Ooh. On the top of this. Oh, I think this ran out of gas. Maybe I'll. Oh no, it's a mess. Oh no, what should I do?
You're not gonna share this video? What is going on?
Oh no.
What's happening with it?
Well, it broke, obviously. Now I'm just trying to.